3, 2, 1. Let's fuck! Alright, welcome to It's Always Sunny in Hollywood. I'm your host, Red Drum Arts. I'll fuck anything that moves.
I am Patrick, and I am less enthusiastic, but okay.
I'm Lugia, and I don't want to continue this. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, really? Really? That's your intro.
Come on. Like, that wasn't the most memorable line in the movie.
It was, but
I mean,
like,
you could make a drinking game, take a shot every time Dennis Hopper says fuck. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a time since our last episode. In fact, it's been so long that our last episode I was 20 years old, and today I'm 21.
Happy birthday!
Merry birthday.
Yes. No, we didn't wait a whole year. It's just today's my birthday. Yeah, it has been a while since the last episode. We got a lot of news. Let's see. Simu Liu, the actor who played Shang-Chi, his Reddit account got exposed, and apparently he said a lot of really weird shit in the past. Like, trying to defend pedophilia type weird.
Sorry, what?
Crazy shit. Oh, yeah. Dude, it was the wildest shit, man. Knowing Hollywood execs, he probably actually made some friends with that comment. But, yeah, his Reddit account got exposed, and his posts were deleted, but people have, like, the archive because Reddit caches all their posts. So, it's ridiculously easy to find deleted Reddit posts, and yeah, people found his, and not the most Disney-ified image. Anyway, the Emmys also happened. Also the Tony Awards, which I noticed you put down. So
yeah, we'll get to the Tonys later.
Okay, I was just thinking we could talk about the Emmys and then we could talk about the Tonys.
Okay,
Since they're both award shows.
We can do that. All right.
So the Emmy Awards, I didn't watch it because I don't really care about the Emmys, but I guess some interesting wins is Ted Lasso won Outstanding Comedy Series. That's a series that suddenly gained traction. I actually checked out the first season. It's solid. It's all right. It's from, I know the guy who created Scrubs worked on it, and I don't know. I guess I'd give it a thumbs up. Not the most amazing series ever, but it's solid. Yeah, most of these are just acting awards, which makes sense. RuPaul's Drag Race won. Cool. Queen's Gambit won for limited series. Makes sense. That was huge. Any of you guys seen Queen's Gambit?
No.
My parents have. I have not.
I can't commentate on it, but from what I've seen, it's basically an anime.
It's about chess,
strategy anime. Yeah, it's about chess. So I don't know.
I mean,
if you're a fan of like, if you're a weeb, yeah, I love chess too. So if you're a weeaboo and you like Chiafuru or one of those fucking series, check out Queen's Gambit. Might be up your alley. Or if you like Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, I love chess. I'm not good at it, but like I love it.
Yeah, and
we're gonna bring her up again soon, and I think you know what that's for.
Oh yes, we are. We are gonna bring up.
But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
I do like Anya Taylor-Joy though.
Let's see. The only other award I noticed is I guess last week tonight with John Oliver won Variety Talk Series. Makes sense. Conan ended, so I guess last week tonight's the best talk show currently on the air.
So yeah, the Tony Awards happened after over a year of delays because, obvious reasons. The big winner of the night was Moulin Rouge, which won 10 Tony Awards, including Best Musical.
Oh, and that got adapted. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it did. My mom saw it. She said it was really good. But actually, two noteworthy things about this Tony Awards is that, one, this is the first Tony Awards in which all of the Best Musical nominees are jukebox musicals.
Really?
There was Moulin Rouge, Jagged Little Pill, which I believe is based on an album, and Tina, which is based on the works of Tina Turner.
Oh.
Yeah.
I noticed that The Lightning Thief was nominated. I didn't even know that they made a play of The Lightning Thief.
I'm aware of it. I don't know anything about it, though. But another noteworthy thing about this Tony Awards is that this is the only Tony Awards in which Best Actor in a Musical had one nominee in the category, and that was Aaron Tveit for Moulin Rouge, which he won. So,
Sorry, I'm looking at the nominees. I'm like, I know Diablo Cody won for Jagged Little Pill. Diablo Cody,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with her work. She's a good writer. She wrote Jennifer's Body and Juno.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy for
Yeah.
Aaron Tveit. Yeah,
Yeah.
the dude finally got his Tony Award.
Some quick TV show news. So, Family Guy recently left Adult Swim. It's, I guess, a historic moment because Adult Swim is famously the reason Family Guy actually got renewed after it was canceled. The Amazing World of Gumball announced that it's going to have a sequel series and a movie to, I guess, resolve its cliffhanger. So that's nice. Going to loop back around to Family Guy. They put out a PSA, or at least a cutaway gag in their thing, where they explained how the COVID vaccine worked. And it's been actually widely regarded as one of the best COVID outreaches from any famous celebrities. So congratulations.
Really?
Yeah.
From
From
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Who knew that Family
Family
Guy
Guy.
would do a better job than 90% of Hollywood at
Oh
actually
my god.
explaining what the COVID vaccine does in a non-condescending way?
Oh my
It's
goodness.
it's kind of hilarious. I
I
want to meet all the people that got their COVID vaccine after Family Guy told them how it worked.
what a
Anyway,
world.
the Nintendo Direct happened. We're just gonna speed through these announcements.
Let's just acknowledge the big elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You know
Bayonetta
what?
3.
Yeah, Bayonetta 3. Also, Lugia, since you're a Castlevania fan, how do you feel about Castlevania Advance Collection coming out?
I spent $20 on Aria of Sorrow.
Also, guys, my boy's growing up. Kirby finally got a 3D game that isn't Kirby Air Ride.
Yeah, that one I'm generally like. That
Yeah,
was my
I'm
most
probably gonna
hyped
get
up.
that one.
Yeah, that one was
Yeah,
the one I'm most hyped up.
I'm genuinely excited for that.
Nintendo decided to fuck me out of money by making N64 Online, which has Super Mario 64 after the fucking collection. Nah, but I'm looking forward to the N64 Nintendo Online thing because somehow they got Banjo-Kazooie on there. Which
But
is
it's the
Really?
N64 version of Banjo-Kazooie, which is,
which
from
is
what
a
I hear,
shame.
worse than the Xbox Live version.
It's not worse. It's just that the Xbox Live version is in widescreen and has some quality of life improvements. Either version is good. Banjo-Kazooie is one of my favorite platformers. I'd highly recommend it. They also have Paper Mario on there, so hey, you finally got a Mario RPG, just not the first one.
Well,
They also
no,
got Sega
the-
Genesis Nintendo
the,
Online.
the Switch does have, what is it, Origami King?
That doesn't count.
Well, yeah, no, we're
Doesn't?
people have been begging for the Legend of like the Seven Rings, the original Mario RPG on Super
Oh, so
Nintendo.
it's
to
Seven
be
Super Mario
added.
Stars.
RPG.
Yeah, so people have wanted that one and Superstar to be on the Switch for like the longest time.
Paper Mario
Um,
1 is a good substitution, though. That's still a fantastic
Yeah.
game.
Paper Mario 1 is a very good game. It's just kind of overshadowed by its sequel, which many regard as like if you talk to most people what their favorite Mario RPGs is, it's Paper Mario 2, Bowser's Inside Story, and then everything else is up for debate.
Probably Mario RPG.
Maybe. I feel like not many people have actually played Mario RPG. It's just kind of popular because Geno. Yeah. And also, Knights of the Old Republic got announced on Switch, so I'd recommend buying that instead of the remake because I do not trust the remake. Anyway,
Now here's
let's
the
now
big can
Then
of worms.
The
actual-
grand finale. This is what made the internet blow up.
Yes. Mario is now homophobic. I'm kidding. Chris Pratt has been casted as Mario for the Mario movie, as is Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Jack Black as Bowser, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad,
Charlie
and,
Day is Luigi.
Okay,
Charlie Day as Luigi.
I'm genuinely curious. What was your guys' reaction to this?
I thought it was hilarious.
I
man.
laughed hard.
I'm watching this, and like each name was like more ridiculous than the last. I'm like, Chris Pratt, okay.
I feel like Jack
What?
Black wasn't a bad choice, actually.
No,
Seth
like,
Rogen
each-
surprisingly works for Donkey Kong, and I hate that it does.
Yeah. Real question is
Yes.
who's gonna play Diddy Kong?
If they're even gonna have Diddy Kong. Well, we know
Michael
Cranky Kong's gonna
Cera-
be in there because of Fred Armisen.
Yeah.
I vote Kevin Hart for Diddy Kong.
No, I vote Kevin Hart for a Goomba.
Part of me
Oh
was
my God.
hoping that Willem Dafoe would be announced to be Waluigi.
Yeah, same. Who would play Wario though? Oh,
Maybe
Danny
Charles
DeVito.
Martinet
Duh.
would, because he's supposed to do cameo roles.
They say cameo role. Do you know what his cameo role is gonna be?
What?
Mario's first line is gonna be "Let's go" or something like that in his classic voice, and then he's gonna cough, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh, that was weird," in Chris Pratt's voice, just like every shitty fucking movie does.
Or he could be the one to say Illumination at the start of the movie.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But
But
actually,
yeah,
guys, 2022, we got a Sonic movie and a Mario movie in one.
yeah,
And also an Uncharted movie.
yeah, maybe another Pikachu movie. Yeah,
So,
so a
yeah.
lot of video game. Oh, and they also announced The Last of Us TV show. They finally showed some a promotional image from that. I forgot to write that down. So lots of video game adaptations happening. Live action Cowboy Bebop. They show the opening. Looks bad. It looks like a fan film.
I feel like every few episodes we bring up the Cowboy Bebop Netflix series.
Yeah, you know what? Cowboy Bebop is like one of my favorite shows ever. And I genuinely think you could make a good live action Cowboy Bebop. Like Firefly was good. But somehow this looks like a disaster. Like I don't know how you could possibly fuck up a slam dunk like this, but yeah.
Time will tell, I guess.
You know, personally, I
The
just think
Netflix
that you
adaptation
shouldn't-
meme lives on.
Yeah. You know, personally, I feel you should just stop making adaptations of animated work because it's inherently a different appeal. Like Cowboy Bebop is more realistic, but it's still ridiculously cartoony. Way I see it, like you should just do what like Firefly did and make your own original series, but inspired by what Cowboy Bebop did. Firefly is able to stand on its own and not feel like an inferior version of Cowboy Bebop. It just feels like its own thing that's like Cowboy Bebop. And anyway, the last and most important news is that Eminem finally released his song for Venom 2. Unfortunately, though, it's not as funny as the original. It's not, you know, really goofy and stupid. It just kind of sounds like a generic end credits rap. There is one highlight from the song, though. He makes a 9/11 joke, and then a stock sound effect of a plane crashing plays. And when I heard that song, I was like, did this man actually do this? He did.
The fuck? What? Why would you do? Why would you
I
do
don't have a
that?
comment on that. Like,
Why would
what?
you
Let the
do
devil
that?
in. Venom. Oh, that movie's gonna be so bad. I saw it's gonna be like the best thing I've ever seen, and the worst thing I've ever seen. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna love that movie, man.
Actually, guys,
Um,
I managed to get an early screening of it the other night.
Oh boy.
You-
I did.
I know the ending credit spoiler. Should we talk
Okay.
about that briefly?
No. It's
All
not.
right, okay. That was an insane ending credits, though, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I did not expect that, but yeah.
I can't speak for the first Venom because I haven't seen it, but I did like Let There Be Carnage quite a bit. Like it's
Yeah.
dumb, but like it's fun.
That's it. Now, time to talk about the movie Blue Velvet. So-
Blue Velvet.
Yeah, so this movie is directed by David Lynch. You guys familiar with his work?
I've heard the name. I don't think I've seen anything else from him.
No.
Alright.
I've seen one or two Hitchcock films, but never Lynch.
So David Lynch is probably best known for creating the popular TV show Twin Peaks.
I have heard of Twin Peaks.
Yes, I have seen the first season of Twin Peaks, not the second season yet, or the third, but I saw the first season. I've also seen his movie Elephant Man, which is also fairly popular. You might have heard of that one.
Mhm.
And the Disney movie The Straight Story, which isn't one of his more lesser known films, but I liked it quite a bit. I'm a fan of David Lynch. I've liked everything I've seen from him. Very weird fella, but very good. I also read his comic strip because he made one of those. I also watch his weekly weather report, which he has a YouTube channel where every week he talks about the weather. I'm not kidding. He still does it to this day. Tomorrow, the next episode is going to drop. It's every Friday.
Wow.
Subscribe to David Lynch's YouTube channel. But yeah, some background on the film, which is actually ties into some current events. So the Dune remake's coming out. This movie was actually made because of David Lynch's Dune. So David Lynch's Dune was a complete failure on a both artistic level and commercial level. And Lynch, after that upset, he wanted to make something more personal and more experimental in the style of his breakout film Eraserhead. Many people often consider this movie to be in a sort of thematic trilogy of sort, with Blue Velvet, Fire Walk with Me, and Mulholland Drive, which are other movies he made. Let's see. The movie had initial mixed reception. It was literally one of those love it or hate it type of deals where some critics held it as a masterpiece, but others hated it. The critics that loved it were later vindicated, as this is now one of the most critically acclaimed movies of all times and widely regarded to be one of the best films of all time. I guess, fuck you, Roger Ebert, because Roger Ebert was one of the people that hated the movie. So yeah, some interesting things about the production is that basically Lynch conceptually just came up with like, it started as 3 ideas. He came up with the title and like the general feel of what he wanted. He came up with the idea of a dude finding a severed ear in a field, and you know, he liked the song Blue Velvet, so he thought of
You
that.
hear it like 5 times throughout the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has some thematic relevance too. Let's see. Some, I guess, production about it is that when he made Eraserhead, he actually had 2 scripts, but the producer, while liking his second script, didn't want to produce it. So Lynch just gave him a bunch of loose ideas. It came out, and he was like, "Yeah, I like your murder mystery idea," because the idea was he basically, David Lynch's pitch was so I have this scene where this dude is like in this closet essentially watching this lady, and then he finds like a clue for a murder mystery, and it was like, that's a good idea. So that's basically how it started. Lynch wrote 2 drafts before coming up with the final script. The initial drafts he felt was too unpleasant. Well, he said it shared the unpleasantness of the final film, but missed all the other elements that are in the final film. He was given full creative freedom and Final Cut's privilege, but had a pay cut and low budget, you know, as fairness. His original cut was 4 hours long, but he, you know, later cut it down to 2 hours due to contracts, and he also had to make some cuts because of the MPAA. Although he felt that the cuts actually made the movie more disturbing, as he implied some stuff more than showing it, and he felt, you know, you're leaving it to your imagination about what happened is much more horrifying. I guess brief content warning for people before I continue with the final fun fact and the movie. This movie does deal with abuse and rape, so if those subjects make you feel uncomfortable, I guess don't listen to the rest of the podcast or the movie.
You've been
Yeah.
warned.
So, final fun fact is, you know the scene where Dorothy shows up and she's, you know, all beaten up and battered?
Mm-hmm.
While they were filming that, people in the town, they actually gather around to watch it because they're like, oh, they're filming a movie. And David Lynch just decided to continue shooting it like no one was there. And when they finished cutting, he noticed that everyone was gone, and then the police told him that they're not allowed to film outside anymore. Which, you know, kind of funny story, but you know, it kind of makes sense too.
Yeah, I read that earlier. I'm like, that makes more sense than it should.
I guess talk about the plot.
Question
Jesus.
before you continue on, is this like a 5-minute synopsis? Because I can summarize this movie in 1 sentence.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I have no idea where to fucking start. This is one of those movies that isn't about the plot, but it's also very much about the plot. And I don't know how to give a summary about this without perfectly encapsulating the film, because I looked at the Wikipedia summary. There is a scene in the Wikipedia summary that's 1 line, but in the actual movie, it's like a 30-minute section.
Well, here. This is basically the plot. Boy finds severed ear in a field that leads to violence and sex.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Basically, murder mystery thing. Yeah, and that's really it.
Yeah.
All right, so since you guys are unfamiliar with Lynch, what are your thoughts?
Oh, where do I fucking start? Honestly, I don't know. This is
All
one of the
right,
most weird movies I've seen in my life.
I guess I'll start with some points. Here, let's just go with the usual framework of how we talk about movies. What did you think of the characters?
Well, okay, here, I can give you my brief general rundown. I'll say this. When the movie started, I'll say like the first like 20-30 minutes, I was like, you know, I'm actually really into this. I was digging like the slow pace, really the lack of a lot of dialogue. Like there was not much talking in the beginning of this movie. I was very engaged in like the mystery and them trying to get into this woman's apartment.
I felt that Jeffrey
But- but-
beating
but, wait.
Sandy just kind of happened, but I agree with you for the most part. I was getting
Well-
into it.
Yeah, for like the first like 20, 30 minutes, I'm like, I'm really into this. And then Jeffrey hides in Dorothy's closet. And the movie takes a hard left into weird. And I am just like, what the fuck did I stumble into?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this movie very quickly becomes very dark and weird. There are so many interpretations about this film. I mostly just want to talk about a lot of the symbols and stuff because that's what I found most interesting. But I feel like we should first talk about it. Technically, this movie is beautiful, right? We can all agree there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking very well shot. This is a surprisingly very low budget film. It was only like $6 million, which is pretty small for a film.
You know, for a
Um,
movie called Blue Velvet, there was a lot of red.
There was a lot of red.
Like literally, like the first shot in the movie is like red roses.
Little bit of an irony thing.
Yeah, but yeah,
Uh,
it did look good. Like from a technical perspective, this movie does look really.
The
really
acting was like fucking campy, but I get that's Lynch's style. Like bad acting
David-
kind of translates to good acting when it's like in a unnerving setting.
David Lynch is a fan of soap opera acting. His idea for Twin Peaks was essentially to make a soap opera, but like, what if a soap opera was fucked up? And that was basically the premise of Twin Peaks. Since I am on Twin Peaks, I know you guys haven't seen it. This movie very much feels like a prototype of Twin Peaks because it's very similar. It even has the same main actor, Kyle MacLachlan. It's basically about Kyle MacLachlan as an FBI agent investigating a murder in a very weird town where weird shit happens, you know? Very similar to this movie, where Kyle MacLachlan is a college student investigating a murder in a very weird town where weird fucked up shit happens.
And I swear, I think this movie like is almost an advertisement for Heineken.
Maybe,
there's
yeah.
There's a conversation at the beginning where they're like, "You don't want Heineken? No, I love Heineken. Heineken is so good."
Yeah. Although that's another Lynch thing because like Dale Cooper in Twin Peaks is like a coffee addict. He always talks about, "Oh, I love coffee. Love that good old cup of Joe."
Like it's not like I'm not saying it's a slight against the movie. I just find it funny.
Yeah,
Like
and
especially
lot-
oh my
the
god.
thing is like a lot of what's funny about this movie is intentionally funny, but also like it kind of works in a double way where it's funny, but it also is like just very slightly like off.
Actually, speaking of Heineken, there is one moment in the movie. Okay, it's when Jeffrey is in Dorothy's apartment and he's sneaking around, and he starts peeing and he just grunts Heineken. That I burst out laughing.
Okay, yeah. So who is your favorite character? Okay, favorite as in like the one that was most entertaining.
Frank.
Okay, yeah,
I'd
yeah,
struggle
that's-
to call him my favorite, but Dennis Hopper did a good job, like
He is a
making him
horrible
a
person,
fucking
but
psychopath.
he was so much fun to watch. I feel like if this movie was made nowadays, he'd be played by Nick Cage because this is a wild fucking performance he gives. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel like he kind of acts a little bit like he does in the Mario movie here sometimes, except in this time it works. When the Mario movie, it's awkward and weird. I mean, it's awkward and weird here, but it works for this movie because this movie is meant to be weird.
I'm gonna say this. I think out of all the movies we've seen so far, I think this one is the most uncomfortable.
Somehow.
Yeah.
I did warn you guys though, so you can't. Get
Yeah.
mad.
But you
I'm
didn't
not
know what
mad.
you were getting yourself into as well.
I didn't, but I did know David Lynch. I feel like my warning
Yeah.
is like, adequate.
Like, okay, The Handmaiden did get uncomfortable at points, but this is like 10 times worse.
Yeah, I thought a lot of like some of the. My favorite part about the movie is a lot of just like the visual storytelling. I found it interesting, like you guys notice like the constant use of bugs throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like there are bugs
Yeah.
everywhere. And then at the end of the movie, you see the bird eat the bug. So
Yeah,
I was
and,
thinking
like-
like maybe the bug represents like evil, and at the end, the robin that eats the bug is kind of like, evil was finally thwarted in a way.
I also noticed like a lot of the times whenever they transition between a scene, there was like a candle.
Yeah,
What did that mean?
I'm not sure. I feel like this movie has very dreamlike quality to it. I know whatchamacallit, David Lynch is like a big fan of like the Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland. Like he's mentioned that before, so I feel like he's just like very much into like dreamlike stuff,
Mhm.
and kind of candles kind of evoke that image. I know they talk about dreams in this movie a few times, or like
Yeah, they do.
one of my interpretations for it is I kind of felt like because like when like Dorothy refers to herself as like mommy and like Hopper's character refers to himself as like daddy and all that shit, I was like I was thinking like this might be like some weird Oedipus complex type like movie or something. Also like the idea of like trying to save your mom from like an abusive marriage or whatever. I was thinking that might be like this might be an allegory for that mixed with a little bit of Oedipus shit because it's bizarre.
Yeah, weird is definitely the word here.
Yeah, I feel like we've established weird thing. It's weird, but it's not like weird for the sake of it. There's definitely a lot of substance in here. I'm probably gonna watch it again because I feel like there's a lot to chew on and a lot that I missed. I understand if you guys don't want to watch it again,
Yeah,
but I'm definitely
I'm
gonna
probably gonna wait a few years until I decide to watch this movie again.
I have similar feelings toward this as I do The Handmaiden, in that like it's good. I probably would watch it again, but like not on my own time. Like I probably wouldn't actively seek to watch this movie again, but if like somebody wanted to, I wouldn't object to it. Like it's good, it's well made, it's just like not my type of movie.
Yeah, I watch a lot of like weird art films and stuff, so I'm more, I guess, used to bizarre stuff. So I like rewatching shit like this and analyzing it. And but yeah, it's maybe not the most
Accessible movie.
yeah,
Oh yeah, no.
like American Psycho is like a similarly bizarre movie, but American Psycho is so funny. I feel like even though it's bizarre, anyone can enjoy it. Even though like the last half hour gets completely insane to the point where I still to this day am not exactly sure what to make of the last half hour of American Psycho, but that's another movie, so we'll talk about some other day.
Well, actually,
Um,
guys, if you think about it, well, spoiler territory. If you think about it, the end of the movie, the end of the movie is basically a reverse Burn After Reading, where instead of the guy outside of the closet shooting the guy in the closet, the guy in the closet shoots the guy outside of the closet.
I was thinking that, yeah.
yeah, I guess so.
I noticed that. I'm like, oh, they pulled a reverse Uno.
So and also I feel like Lynch was intentionally trying to focus on the visuals because sometimes like in some scenes like the audio is a bit quieter.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I feel like that was more of a deliberate choice than a mistake though. But yeah.
I did notice one weird thing where after like later on, like near the middle of the movie, after Frank says the iconic line, "I'll fuck anything that moves," everyone just vanishes into thin air. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You can't fuck
they-
what's not there.
like the scene, like the background is still there, but all the actors disappear for like a split second, and then it immediately switches to like them in the car, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Is that just like a glitch, or was that like a deliberate
I
thing?
think that
Oh,
was
no,
just
he was fucking
not
with you.
fancy transition.
No, it was deliberate, yeah. People have discussed that before. I've heard people mention that. Yeah, it was deliberate.
Granted, I don't think
Um,
it looks good, but I'm not the
It's-
artist behind the movie, so what do I
No,
know?
neither am I. But I know it was just again weird.
Yeah. I think this movie is very quotable. Yeah, we
Well,
already talked
Frank
about the
is quotable.
I'll fuck anything that moves. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of good lugs.
Baby
like,
wanna
I don't,
fuck.
yeah, I don't know
Take
if
a
you're
shot every
detective
time
or,
he says fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the line, I don't know if you're a detective or a pervert. There's also the darkness comes till the robins come. Or there's darkness till the robins come. They say now it's dark like a few times in the movie. Like I didn't notice it at first, but then I was like, they repeat that line a few times. I remember that woodchuck line, the what, Lumberton, the town where people really know how much wood a woodchuck chucks. So we didn't talk about Laura Dern yet. What'd you think of her? I know. Yeah, what'd you think of Laura Dern?
Who did she play?
She played fucking Sandy.
Sandy? Sandy. Yeah.
Kind of fits the bill with Jeffrey's actor, where it's like a bad soap opera.
Yeah,
I will say I do think those two, they got better as the movie went on with their acting.
yeah. I think it's more of like the tone of the movie kind of changed from goofy small town sitcom thing to more of
Yeah.
like an actual. I think
Yeah.
they were trying to transition that because movies aren't filmed in order, so
Mhm.
it has to be a deliberate choice because it's not filmed in order. So, like Lynch probably had to tell him, "You're gonna have to act a bit more goofy in this scene than in this scene." So yeah, pretty impressive cast. I think Laura Dern and Dennis Hopper are probably the biggest names in this movie. Kyle MacLachlan is famous for working with David Lynch, not much else outside of David Lynch. Then you got Isabel Rossellini, who played Dorothy. She did a very good job, I feel. I think her and Hopper are definitely the standout performances in this. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, one thing that stood out to me, even though it doesn't really have any big impact, is the blind guy at the store where Jeffrey works. I don't know why. I thought that was like some nice flavor, just to be like, hey, there's this blind guy, and he is really good at like making out what's in front of him, even though he can't see.
Yeah,
I don't know. That just stood out to me.
yeah. Let's see.
I thought the Slow Club was a weird name for a nightclub, but I guess it worked.
It's quirky. It's quirky.
Yeah. I find it interesting. Despite this having very mixed reception, it was still nominated for an Oscar for Best Director. And you know what? Yeah, I feel like people just can't deny this movie is very deliberate with its directing choices, and it looks very good.
It was
Mhm.
bold too. I mean, Lynch
Yeah.
lost privileges to film outside, so that's worth something.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a very unique film. I guess I can't say once in a one of a kind anymore, but just like stylistically, people obviously borrowed from Lynch since, but it still feels like one of a kind. Like even though it shares a lot with Twin Peaks, it's not the same. It's a different experience. Twin Peaks is certainly more accessible. I'd argue. Like if you guys like this, you will love Twin Peaks probably because Twin Peaks much more accessible. It also goes a bit more in depth into a lot of the things. But yeah, this is very good. I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
I think this was an 8 out of 10 for me.
I did enjoy myself, but it's not really my type of movie. Again,
You need to be in a certain mood to watch this again.
Yeah. Like if somebody with me wanted to watch it, I would not object, but I probably wouldn't watch this again on my own.
Yeah,
But like this is like definitely like in the bottom tier of movies to watch with your parents, like way towards the freaking bottom.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I did tell you guys not to watch with your parents.
I didn't watch this with my parents. Don't worry, I did not.
Yeah.
I
But
watched this by myself, but I did feel the need to turn the volume down a few times because my parents were home, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want them to ask what I'm watching in here.
yeah, but so for viewers at home, I guess the movies in the podcast I would lump this towards is like same categories like The Wall, Handmaiden, Apocalypse Now, Ghost in the Shell, one of those more abstract type films rather than the more deliberate ones. But all right. I guess if you like this movie, some stuff I'd recommend is obviously David Lynch's other works. I already mentioned Mulholland Drive and Twin Peaks quite a few times. I'd also recommend Perfect Blue by Satoshi Kon or Khan. Then there's Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock. You mentioned you watch Hitchcock, right, Lugia?
Yeah, I saw Psycho.
Yeah,
I
did
might
you
have seen
feel that-
another one. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, did you feel this had some similar elements to Psycho? I felt it did.
Some, yeah.
I'd highly recommend Under the Silver Lake. Under the Silver Lake definitely feels very Lynch inspired. It's also got the investigator angle. I feel it's a bit more accessible, but still incredibly weird. And a lot of people were off put by Under the Silver Lake, but I think it's good. That's a modern movie. That's like 2015. That's like a very recent movie. Stylistically, anything from Lynch, The Reflecting Skin, and Hitchcock. There's quite a few. Seconds, Donnie Darko, Barton Fink. Just generally stuff like that. I'd recommend checking out if you like this film. All right, I guess it's your turn, Lugia, to recommend.
Yep, Lugia, what do you got?
Okay. So I've been thinking about this for a little bit, and I think I know what I want to do. I've
Okay.
never seen this movie before. You guys might have. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know who directed it. I didn't do research on this. I'm just like going in. But I've heard really good things about it, and I figured, you know what? I kind of want to see this. So, probably not next week. We'll have to see about that. But next episode, we're gonna be talking about Baby Driver.
Oh,
Oh
I love this movie.
yes,
I
Baby
have seen it.
Driver.
I actually saw this in theaters. Yeah, this is a good movie.
Hey, back to Edgar Wright.
Yeah, finally, about time we got to him.
Oh, that's Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the right, the man who started this whole thing.
Huh.
Yeah,
I found it
I intended to recommend this movie at some point, and I'm glad
Yeah.
you did.
I didn't intend to recommend this. I was planning on recommending his other movies. But yeah, I find it interesting that we're talking about my least two favorite Edgar Wright movies before we talk about my favorites. But I
Huh.
still like this movie quite a bit.
It's
don't get me
okay.
wrong.
We'll do Hot Fuzz at some point.
At some point, but first, Baby Driver. Oh, this is gonna. be
Yeah, I was
fun.
just curious about it, and
Son
I
of a
figured, you
bitch.
know what? Why not? I feel like this could be interesting.
Yeah, and hey, it's fitting. We're gonna be recording in October. No wait.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
We'll
whatever.
likely record in October.
Yeah.
It's the end of September. There's no way we're gonna go on hiatus for a full month.
Yeah.
Again.
You say that.
Again. We're not doing it again.
So yeah. So Baby Driver heist movie.
All
right. Is this our first heist movie?
No.
No.
You could say The Handmaiden was a heist movie.
Oh, right. Here, let's add the heist genre into our little chart. Anyway, let me sign out. What's a good quote to sign out on?
You could just say
I wrote
fuck
one down.
again.
Nah, I won't say that. I'll
Um,
say oh, I got one. I wrote it down. I forgot what I wrote down. It was now it's dark. Remember that line I was talking about earlier?
Yeah.
All right, now it's dark.